What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Fight Like Hell podcast. We're coming to you with our year end wrap up. Today is the last day of 2022. Today is December 31st, and it's a Saturday. This is podcast episode 78. I can't believe we've made it this far. How you doing, Austin?
Terrible.
Terrible. Why
Yeah, I
terrible?
got I gotta put up with you. I put up with you for a whole year.
But we made an agreement that after this podcast that we were
It's the
just going to be
last one.
done.
Just
This is the
done.
last
Last
one.
one.
So like
Not
guys,
really
like
though.
we no, don't we gotta like this is how we build more followers. Cause then they're like, oh, we gotta go listen to their last episode. And they're like, fuck, no, they actually made more. All right, let's get into this because we got a lot of shit to cover. Um First off, we're gonna do sponsors, but we're gonna this time because it's New Year's Eve and in honor of drinking and in honor of actually our number one podcast, most listened to podcast of the year, which we'll get in later. We're going to actually use Sisterdale as the official sponsor of the final episode, Fight Like Hell podcast in 2022. Sisterdale is a bourbon and whiskey company out of Texas. Sisterdale is the city. They make incredible bourbons, whiskeys. They are in the process of, I don't think they went public with it yet, where you can actually buy
They're rye.
their rye. But on the low key, because I'm an avid shopper with Chad, and as he said it, I am family. I got to sneak sample the rye, and it is incredible. And the only reason why I'm not drinking it right now is because it got me insanely drunk off of like two old fashions because
And that's
it's
because you're
110.
addicted to old fashions.
Oh yeah, we can get into that too if you want. But yeah, so Sisterdale, and then honestly, guys, other than that, you know our other sponsors. It's obviously Invicta Coffee, and it is patriotcookies.co. Head on over to either one of those sites and put in Fight Like Hell, all one word, and you'll save a little bit of cash. And if you want to support a really good bourbon company, go head over to Sisterdale and get your stuff. It's incredible bourbon. All right, let's get into it.
Okay. What are we getting into? Weekend adventures?
Yeah,
How
exactly.
how do we podcast? I forgot how to do this.
I don't know. I mean, we'll find out soon enough. I feel like my
Okay.
voice is coming through still on yours.
I don't know what to tell you.
Hmm. All right. Well, this episode sucks. It's your fault.
I'll just hold it really close to the microphone. Is that better?
Yeah, let me see if I can talk now. Yeah, I can definitely hear that. Maybe my mic's up too loud.
uh, I, I don't think it's your mic. I don't know. We'll just keep rolling. Fuck it. Just keep
Okay.
going.
All right. What's next?
Weekend
Tell me.
adventures.
Weekend adventures. What'd you do?
Nothing. What'd you do?
It's not even the weekend yet. Well, I guess it is the weekend.
It is too the weekend Saturday. What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. Oh, I got a poor Sisterdale too. Um,
You're fucking slacking over there.
well, this weekend so far, it's been pretty shitty out at the canyon. So I have been um, just kind of like kicking it around the house. I might have a new addiction that's gotten slightly out of hand. I'm gonna
Yeah.
join
AKA Madden.
Madden Anonymous because I bought Madden on like Christmas Eve or something like that,
It was like a week ago.
yeah, and I've grown my ultimate team. Like for those of you who play Madden, you'll understand what I'm talking about. My team level I think is a 29 at this point, and I went from I think like a 71 rank team to it's either 92 or 93. Like the entire team is stacked, and then I got into this other thing that I really like doing on Madden. It's called flipping cards, where you basically go to like auctions, you find players in there that you want, you grab them if they're lower priced than they're actually valued, and then you immediately repost them for the actual value, but maybe like couple $100 less. That way, people are enticed to buy them, and you could make anywhere from 1,000 coin to fucking like 5,000 coins or whatever per card that you flip. So yeah, I have an issue,
Just
and
Madden addiction. What
yeah,
time did you go to bed last night, Rob?
I fell asleep with joystick in hand at like 2 a.m. I woke up and I was like, I gotta go to bed because this morning I had a lovely FaceTime with my parents and Amanda. Amanda is really loved by my parents, and they enjoyed that we did like a Christmas Eve thing together. So we did a video chat and had morning drinks or whatever. Well, they drank. I drank coffee because I was really fucking tired from the night before.
I mean, that's better than one time you went to bed at like what 6 a.m. or something.
No, no, she was saying that it was almost 6 a.m. because it was her
It's
time that she
Amanda's
was
time.
looking. Truthfully, though, it was about like 4:30 or like 4:40 my time. So like, yes, it was late, but then she went and told my parents in our like group chat, and she's like, yeah, Rob like sent me a message at almost 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, well, it wasn't,
Saying he
first
was
off,
just going to
it
bed.
wasn't 6 o'clock in the morning because she's on central time. So she's an hour ahead of me. I'm like, it was more like 4:40 my time. So like it made it sound like it was 2 hours later than I actually was in bed sending that text message. But whatever.
Up
I've been,
partying, fucking playing Madden.
yeah. I don't even remember if I drank that night. I think I didn't even drink.
You, I'm pretty sure you did. You probably drank more. Let's get into your old fashioned addiction.
Is that on our notes too?
I
I
put it
guess it
on
is.
there.
So let's talk about the cherries. What are those cherries called?
Oh, fuck. What are they called?
He's gonna look them up. These are like the Mercedes Benz or Bentley of cherries. They're so fucking good.
Luxardo.
How do you say it?
Luxardo? The
Can you
Luxardo
can you bring
maraschino
them on?
cherry.
Can you bring them on the screen?
I mean, I can. Most people know if they drink, they know what they are.
So I had Lowell, who was our last guest, my boss, pick me up some of these, and I told him, I warned him, I was like, hey, like I need simple syrup, I need these cherries, and I need some fresh oranges. And he's like, okay, I can get all
These
that.
black cherries.
Yeah, those cherries are so good, but they're like $23 to $28 a bottle,
Yeah, they're
and
expensive.
they're insanely expensive. And Lowell thought that they were like $3 or something like that. So like he
Like
went to
normal
like check
cherries.
out. Yeah, he went to check out, and they're like, oh yeah, it's like 29.50 or something like that. He's like, what the fuck? And he goes to check the receipt in the car because he's about ready to bring stuff back. Like, you overcharged the shit out of me. And he's like, the cherries were like $28, and then the simple syrup was like $2 or something like that, or $1.50. So yeah. So I got into a habit of doing those, and I really enjoy them because I look at them as like
How
they're
many
like
cherries
almost
do you
like
have
Shirley.
left?
I'm running low. The other night, as a matter of fact, what happened the other night? Wasn't that like that was a work night too?
Yeah, you had like what 6 cherries?
Well, it started off with like, I'm just gonna have a cherry. And then it turned into like 2 or 3 cherries. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I should make it old fashioned and add cherries. So yeah. Old fashions are king. They're so good. The only reason why I'm drinking it this way instead of an old fashioned is because they go down way too easy, and Chad's stuff is fucking deadly. Like 110 proof
And
is.
you still have your video chat date with Amanda later, so you
Yeah,
can be
yeah.
shit
Amanda and I are
faced.
we're gonna spend New Year's Eve together, and then tomorrow's a really big milestone for us. Tomorrow we're gonna try to book her pods to get her stuff moved out here, and we're targeting sometime in February. Um, and the year is wrapping up good. It definitely was a year of emotions and ups and downs,
Never.
and and through all that though, like one of the things that was steady was her. Like, she was a rock and in my corner through like a bunch
Hmm.
of bullshit that I was going through, and it's cool that like we're engaged now and she wants to move out here, and Houston's a fucking mess anyways. Like
Oh yeah.
she needs to leave. Finn's gonna have a better life out here, and it's just
I mean, Finn will have the alley.
yeah, I know. Yeah. And speaking of Vishlas, I'm actually wearing one of
Yeah.
the Vishla shirts or whatever that Amanda bought me. It's a hoodie. But yeah, so that's old fashions.
Yeah,
You've
and then we got one more thing. We got fantasy football because that just wrapped up, didn't it?
No, it's actually in process right now. So I am
Oh.
in the championship game right now, and I've had my kicker play so far, who got me 10 points on Thursday, and then the rest of my team, except for my quarterback, plays on freaking Sunday, and then I have a final game on Monday. So I'm hoping that I go into Sunday night winning. That way I just
Yeah.
don't have to worry about shit. Um, but I also know that I'm going against one of the number one wide receivers, Stefan Diggs. I think he's like in the top 5. And I have Jason Allen, who's his quarterback. So like the point should be able to trade off. Where
Mm-hmm.
if he has a big game, it's only going to help my quarterback. But we'll see how it goes. Payout for my fantasy league. This is our 9th season, and the buy-in is 160. The payout for second place is 400, I think, and championship winner is like 700. So I'm really hoping I'm gonna win. Austin unplugged his microphone. He looks like an idiot right now. He's trying very hard to get in the hole. He struggles at getting things in the hole. This is what his poor wife goes through. Sorry, mom and dad, if you're listening. You're not talking. You're on mute.
Hey,
You're
fuck
still
you.
on mute. Okay. Poor Jessica. Does
Yeah,
it
fuck
take
you.
that long normally?
Yeah. Hey, it depends on how much I've had to drink.
Yeah. I mean, you've had like 2 sips of what are you drinking, by the way?
Tequila.
Mm-hmm. Elaborate.
Casamigos.
What
Joyce
is
Creamies
Casamigos?
tequila.
Okay. And it's expensive tequila for tequila.
Yeah, it's like $50 a bottle.
Yeah, because like the rock one is only like $35.
It's like I think it's like 25 or 28. I think.
Oh, out here it's like $35, but everything's like overpriced
Well,
except for our gas
well,
and our freedom,
yeah.
unlike yours.
But you have sales tax, so
What's that?
you have sales tax. We don't.
This is true. And we did the other day, we were looking up sales tax around the state of Arizona. It's pretty much all fucked. Like
Yeah.
everywhere is like 9% or like close to 10%. I was thinking that Prescott was actually like cheaper than Flag. It's like zero point 0.4 cheaper than Flag or something like that. Because I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking like if I'm going to buy another vehicle, I'm not going to do it in Flagstaff because their taxes are so high.
Right.
But no, like the taxes are just fucking high everywhere. I think out here it's like 8.9 or 9.2, which is fucking stupid. But
You should just
it
come
is
out
what it
here and buy
is.
a vehicle and then just drive it back. You'll have zero sales tax.
Yeah, but then the way it works is you have to register it in your
Yeah, to where
state
you
and you
live.
have to
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
cuz like I got a tax. So when we bought our vehicle in Germany, um we got like a good deal on it, and like the taxes were in our favor. Like they cut the taxes because we use this thing called a VAT form, which
Mm-hmm.
basically gives you a way to waive the German taxes because the German taxes were 19%. But
Jeez.
they were built into the price. So like you
Mm.
would see like what the actual
Yeah.
price is.
Well,
Like when you go to check out,
everything over there is built into the price.
yeah,
Like you
yeah.
don't
So you
pay
know how much
extra
you're paying
taxes.
for it. But they had this thing where you could waive 19% for this form that costs like $50 or like $100. So
Mm.
like when we bought our car, we used the VAT form because it saved us fucking 19% on the interest. And we bought a brand new BMW, and it saved us a shit ton of money because I think the vehicle was like a $36,000 car back in like
Yeah.
2014. Anyways, we pay off the car while we're in Germany. We get back to the States, and we were going to originally bring it to Alaska. Long story short, it wasn't 4-wheel drive. It needed to go somewhere where I could sell it. So I decided to send it to my parents to get it signed. And then I had to pay taxes on it. But I had to pay taxes on it from the Kelly Blue Book value of it 3 or 4 years later. So like it wasn't that bad. But the point is, if I bought a car up there, if I go to register it down here,
Yeah.
like I'm fucked. I'm gonna pay the taxes.
Just tell them you don't want to. Just tell them you don't want to pay taxes.
I'm like, I'm a disabled vet. I don't have to do
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so back to fantasy football. You excited to see what happens? And
I'm excited to see what happens. And honestly, like, I don't even think they listen to this podcast, but there's 2 brothers that have been playing in my league for a long time. And it was the ultimate karma for them because,
what do you mean? You get along with everybody.
Oh, no, dude, they fucking pissed me off at the beginning of the year. So that time when I had pesticide my house during the summertime,
Yeah.
I needed to like pesticide my house because I was having like really bad spider problems.
Yeah, you went to Sedona.
I went to Sedona. I miscalculated when our draft was.
Yeah.
But there was email notifications going out to every single person on the team, and it goes off of their time zone. I live in a weird fucking time zone where half the year
yours was set to Alaska though, wasn't it?
I know. So mine was set to Alaska, so it was way off. I missed the draft. My team was auto drafted. I was good with it. I think 6 or 8 out of the teams made it to the draft, and like 4 of us didn't make it to the draft and got auto drafted teams. Everyone was good with it except for one person who started crying about it so fucking much, to the point where he basically said that he was going to pull out of the league, which was going to completely fuck us, because who's going to jump into a fantasy football league with an already drafted team? You know what I mean? Like, that's not fair to them, because they probably might have wanted to attend the draft, or they would have elected to do auto draft like I did.
Yeah.
So we decided to do a redraft on the case of this stupid motherfucker. I shouldn't say that. He is a nice person, but off of this dude, like, he annoyed the fuck out of me and made it hard for you, because I had to give you all my passwords and my credentials and shit to log in and figure out, like, we had to Google search shit because I'm driving to Sedona. You're trying to figure out.
I think you're driving home.
No, I was driving to Sedona. Like, I was on my way there. Yeah. And my signal sucked, and we're trying to figure out if there's any way to do it. And we read like some sort of clause that as long as the football season hadn't started, you could redo a draft before the season starts. So we're like, perfect. So we figured out, we did it. Long story short, the brother and the dude who bitched the most about getting like a redraft done both just played in the semifinals. If either one of them would have won, they would have gone to the championship and been guaranteed a lot of money. Both of them lost, and I beat the guy who was the one that bitched the most and had to have like a team that he picked, which is stupid, because at the end of the day, like, drafting, yeah, it's fun, but auto drafting is fine because you don't win a fantasy football league by running the team that you picked in fucking August.
Right. I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter. You can pick whoever you want, but you never know how the season's going to go until it happens.
Mm-hmm. And I've actually have won my league on an auto drafted team. So like, it's fucking stupid to think that you can't win on auto drafted team. I've also won by selecting my team too. And if I win this, out of the 9 years that we've had this league, it'll be my 4th time ever winning the championship, and it's a 12 team league, which makes it a lot harder than like a 10 or 8 league team. Okay, so Austin's arguing with his wife. Let's find out what's next. I think we're actually getting into podcast stats. That's what's going to be next.
No, it's not. No.
What is it?
You have no idea what you're talking about.
What's next?
Podcast stats.
That's what I just said. All right. Why don't you talk for a little bit and talk about some of our stats?
Yeah, I mean, so after I think this is because this is our full first year of podcasting.
Correct, because
Because last year we
last year we
started
started
in
in March,
March.
right? Right around like
Yeah,
either your guys' anniversary or your wife's birthday.
yeah. It was. I think it was the beginning. I think it was it. I don't remember. I think maybe it was her birthday that we started on.
I
I
mean,
don't know.
like here, I can tell you the exact date while
I mean,
you bring up
I
some
can
of the
too. I
numbers.
have it right here.
Okay, then fucking do something with your life.
Um, yeah. I
Oh
mean,
no.
yes. I'm pretty sure we started. I think the first episode was like on my wife's birthday. So let's see. It was March 8th, 2021 is when we first started. So we started this. Our first episode was on my wife's birthday.
Yeah. We'll always have that anniversary. We probably won't podcast on that day, but out of respect for his wife, because he completely disrespected his wife the first episode of our. So we're lucky to actually have Austin as a co-host, because he probably might have almost got killed like the first time.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, so this is a full first year. I think it went pretty good. I had to deal with you, but that's okay. We did 33 episodes this year, including this episode. So it's a couple episodes.
Yeah,
We had
it
we
wasn't
had
it wasn't as high as I thought it was gonna be, but at the
yeah.
same time, we had my move. We had a couple points where we didn't podcast for a week or two, and we apologize for the avid listeners,
It's just
which
remember
we're getting
it's
ready to
all
shout out.
Rob's fault.
Honestly, a couple of them were, because like one of them was involved around my move. Another one was around the time when I broke my ankle,
I know.
and then
Jeez.
there was one or two times it was either your fault or
It's never my
Scotty's
fault.
fault,
It's never my
or
fault.
it was Scotty's fault actually, I think like two or three times. And
Mm-hmm.
then a couple of people canceling on us last minute.
Yeah. But
So
yeah, we had 23 different guests on this year.
okay, you want to
So
hit all those guests and we'll talk about them?
I mean, we can. We'll go back and we'll go back into them after this.
Okay,
Um,
hit your stats on first. I'll shut up.
yeah, I mean, we have over 3,000 minutes of podcasting. So 3,000 minutes of us talking to each other. Um, we're listened to in 28 different countries. The top 5 countries are the United States, of course, Canada, UK, New Zealand, and Australia.
That shit is so fucking cool.
So, yeah, we're getting out there.
Shout out down under. Shout out down under. Yo, where's all my Tassie people? Because
So yeah,
Tasmania actually counts as Australia.
I
I've been
think
to
so.
Tasmania. Yeah, it does. No, I'm stating a fact,
Are you
or I'm
sure?
wrong.
Are you sure?
And one of
Or
our
you're wrong.
Australian listeners needs to write, our Tasmanian listeners need to write in and be like, "You fucking retard." No, they're not like
Yeah,
a
tell him
part of
if
us.
he's wrong. Let us know.
But when you told me that stat, like probably about 3 weeks ago, because these are off of like December 3rd or something like that.
Yeah,
They're not.
whenever Spotify Wrapped comes out.
Yeah, so they're not like the most current. Like our numbers are actually a little bit higher because we've had like 3 or 4 episodes since
3 episodes, yeah.
Okay. So, but those are going off 30 episodes, and we find it fucking awesome, hilarious, and amazing that people actually listen to our stupid voices down in fucking Australia
Right?
and
In
New
New
Zealand.
Zealand. That's crazy.
That's just wild.
I mean,
Okay.
and then we're the top 10 podcast for 74 people, the top 5 podcast for 61 people, and the number one most listened to podcast by 25 people.
For real?
Yeah, and they're Spotify Wrapped basically. It's where we show
That's
up.
fucking cool. I can guarantee you I can guess 2 of them.
Well, yeah, we know a couple of them, of course. Just because
I'm gonna say
they're
Brewer, shout out Brewer, and Buck.
yeah.
Probably
I mean, yeah,
Buck
those
was
two.
saying that he was like 2 episodes behind, but he was gonna
How
catch
dare
up.
he?
I
Well,
know.
he was busy. He was busy. He just got a fancy new trailer.
I know, man. He upgraded his
I
life.
know, super fancy.
He went from like 14 foot to like 35 foot. It's
I know.
fucking
He's saying it's
crazy
nicer
big.
than his first apartment.
It is really nice inside. Yeah, him and I were
Well,
talking the other night. We are talking shit about you actually. quite a
That's
bit.
okay. I was talking to him too. I told him, I said it was nice, and he deserves it. I mean, fucking, he puts in the work. So
Yeah, yeah. We love Buck. He'll be back on eventually next year.
maybe in his fancy trailer
Yeah,
with
maybe
his
we can
cute
get him
service
to.
dog,
Oh my god, Addie's so fucking cute.
right?
Addie's like the best fucking service dog. She
Better than
she
Allie.
behavior wise, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not an adventure dog. Like
No,
she
not at
can't
all.
really she
You
can't really go
you
on the
learned
hikes.
that when he was there.
Yeah, yeah. But in his defense, Allie struggled too. Like it was so fucking
Hmm.
hot. But yeah, no, she just behaves really good and interacts with all people and dogs like a sweetheart. And Allie does good with people, but she's not good with other dogs. But at the end of the
No,
day,
yeah,
like it's not her job to be friends with other dogs. Her job is to fucking look after me. And as long as she gets along with Finn and does good at daycare when I drop her off, that's all I give a fuck about.
yeah.
So,
But yeah, and then
okay.
our most listened to episode this year is episode 54 with Chad from Sisterdale with over 200 plays, and that was the episode where you broke your ankle.
Yeah. And that was a good episode in, in retrospect of me breaking my ankle just because
Yeah.
Chad is one of those people that knows how to like explain something in great
No,
detail.
yeah, he's
And
definitely a bit. He's a businessman at first. I mean,
oh yeah, but on top of that, like he explained all of this on a level that I could have never like
yeah,
regurgitated. So that's a really good episode. What episode number was that?
54.
Okay, so if you want to listen to our most listened to for last year, go to 54. Um, other than that, what else you got for stats?
I mean, that's it. That's all I got on there for stats.
Okay.
That's what I got on there.
Okay.
And then let's see, yeah, because we started off, and let's see, what episode did we start off with? We started off with episode. We started off episode 45 with Mr. Spencer from Invicta.
Okay, so
It was our
Spencer
first
from
guest of this
Arizona.
year. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and I got to go snowboarding with him a few weeks ago. He's actually a really good snowboarder. Really good dude and just, that was a fun episode actually. I remember that one.
Yeah, I mean, because he was Army infantry. He was a mortarman as well.
Smart infantry basically.
Well, yeah.
What happened to you? You
I
used to
I,
be
I
smart?
lost it all. Yeah, I lost it all. Went out the window. I've
Yeah.
put up with you for too long.
I stupefied you.
You dumbed me down. Yeah, it's all your fault.
Cheers that. I guess it's time for
So,
another pour of Sisterdale.
just remember, you do have a video chat with Amanda later. You can't get too fucked up.
I'm gonna eat like a couple slices of pizza to fucking level this shit out because like I'm starting to feel it. Shout out fucking Sisterdale and Chad. Chad, you better listen to this episode.
Amanda's gonna be pissed at you if you.
If I show up really drunk, she will
Yeah,
be.
you're gonna be pissed.
Yeah. No, I just like honestly, I can't wait till February. Like I'm very happy with this year. I'm very happy with the way things worked in our relationship, but I'm not gonna lie, like part of me is a little bit sad that like I don't get to spend, Thanksgiving, Christmas, or New Year's Eve, or even like Halloween with her because I
Mm-hmm.
left like a couple weeks before, and those are all like probably in my top 5 holidays that
Yeah,
I
well, and I
enjoy.
mean, and the time you were there, like when you proposed, you guys were like sicker
Sick
than
as fuck.
dogs. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But all right,
and that's the
we'll
last.
we'll
That's the last time you were there is when you were sick as dogs. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. All right, what do you got after Spencer's
so
episode?
yeah, I mean, and then we had on Tony Sanders, which is our second most listened to episode. The guy who lost a whole bunch of weight and did bodybuilding and stuff.
Yeah, I we obviously both still follow him, but
Yeah.
I love seeing his posts because he's one of those people that's just like avidly doing it, and you can see the transformation. Like
Oh yeah.
it's quite crazy to be honest. Like it's and his story was good, and just I don't know, like he's kind of a beast, and
Mm-hmm.
he's out there. Where's he in at Kansas?
I
I
no
think he's in
fucking clue.
Kansas.
Yeah.
Either way, that was a good episode. And what number was that?
That would have been episode 46.
Okay, cool. All right,
And
next.
then 47 was Paul from, well, what used to be Potty Math, I guess.
Yeah, I know. That's another
Since,
crazy fact. We actually passed Potty Mouth probably like
yeah,
10
because
or 12 episodes
I
ago.
don't, I don't, I'm not going to get into it because I don't know what happened with all that, but they no longer
Do the
podcast
podcast.
anymore.
We both don't know what happened, and honestly,
Yeah.
we're still friends with both of
No, yeah,
them.
no, we're still friends. I just, yeah, I don't know. So, um, but yeah, that was a good podcast. He was Navy, so we
Was
went
that
out
when
of
we
it.
had that's when we had
Paul,
Paul. I was
yeah,
thinking like Alpha.
no, yeah, yeah,
So,
Alpha Instinct, Paul.
yeah, I'm trying to see like
Potty mouth.
dude, he hasn't posted anything since September.
Yeah, yeah. I know it's been a while. I know that.
Because him and Spencer used to show up constantly in my feed and Potty Mouth. Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't know what happened, but either way, like fucking both of them stellar people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, continue. What do you
So
got next?
yeah, and then we had on Mr. James Lightbody, which is someone you know from hockey,
Correct. That is one of my buddies from Texas.
Texas.
He is like I guess like the CEO or the president of that Dreadnought team.
Yeah, Dreadnought hockey.
What
Yep.
yeah, which is a destroyer, and it was like World
Correct.
War II or something like that.
I think
And,
that's right. Yeah.
and he was an interesting guest because obviously I know him through hockey, and just the fact that he was one of our few guests that wasn't a veteran, but is involved in things that
Yeah,
revolve
in the veteran
around veterans
community.
in the veteran community. And their hockey team is really good. They've won a lot of tournaments. Um, they're big on doing things for that ship, what got retired, I guess, in Texas somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's just that was an interesting episode because it was one of those things that like I know him from a face to face conversation. He's fun to talk to. He's a good dude, but I didn't know much of the story behind the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like you and I wouldn't be able to have this fucking podcast if it wasn't for people of like the
Right.
generations of soldiers before us. So like much respect for the fact,
Oh
especially
yeah.
that he's not even in the military and he did something that implies towards the military.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who's next?
Yeah, and then we had on Slavy.
Slavi. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That was a
Uh,
good episode.
it was. It was a super good episode because it was. We had different perspectives, different point of views on some things, but it was a super good podcast.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up. That was one of the first times that I think we ever had a guest that his perspective was very different than ours, and it was on the invasion into
Yeah,
Ukraine,
because it had just
and
started.
it had just started, and it was very interesting to hear it from someone that actually lived over there,
Yeah.
and to kind of like give a perspective from like the Russian standpoint, and and honestly, like Slavi, like especially if he's listening to this episode, man,
Mm-hmm.
much respect for the fact that you explain things in your way, but he also taught me something during the time when I was probably at my most depressed with my ankle,
Mm.
and it was basically about not worrying about the future, not worrying about the past, but worrying about where I was at, like, at that moment, and, like, just focusing on the moment and getting to that next step of, like, the recovery process. So, like, Slavi was one of those people that, like, we have a decent amount of guests that come on and, we
Yeah.
kinda keep in touch with them, but Slavi's one of those people that I have continued to talk to throughout the year and just has become like a really good friend. And he's been one of your friends for a while
Yeah.
now, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's cool when you have people on and they're more than just a guest. Like they
Yeah.
actually become your friend. And I definitely consider like Slavi like a really good friend.
Yeah.
All right,
And
what's next?
then next we have on somebody that we were just talking about, Mr. Buck.
Oh, Buck.
Yeah.
What episode was that?
That was his first time on episode 52.
That wasn't his first time on. He
Oh
was
no, I
on
guess it
like
was his
two or
second
three.
time.
That was like two or three times.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean Buck's always good guy to have on.
Yeah.
What are you looking at over
No,
there?
I'm trying to like look up pages and shit on Instagram, but I'm gonna stop because I can't multitask right now.
I know.
Sister Dale's got a hold of me a little bit, but as a matter of fact, that was that was the episode where I got like entirely way too
Yeah,
intoxicated,
that you got. Yeah, you were super shit faced,
and I
and
was
me and
angry
Buck.
about something and like
I
going
I
off
don't
on a rant.
remember,
I don't even
but
remember what it
yeah,
was.
and at
But
the
if you want to
end
hear
we're
a
just
good rant, a drunk rant,
yeah,
that was the episode where Buck was, like, very logical about everything that was
yeah,
going on.
yeah, and at the end I'm just like Rob, shut up,
Yeah, it was
because
pretty bad.
he was shit faced.
Yeah, no, that was and then Buck doesn't drink, so
No, yeah, Buck doesn't drink, so yeah, it was me and Buck trying to deal with Rob.
yeah, it was pretty bad for you guys, I think.
Yeah, it was. And then next we had on Mr. Dr. Jason Piccolo.
And I think that was the second time he was
It
on the
was.
podcast, and that was the one that we were bragging about that we're on Spotify with video, and it actually
Yeah,
broke
that was
and
that
did
was
not
right after,
upload with video.
because yeah, well that we were talking about, because that was when you did your first hike into the canyon before you broke your ankle.
Oh, we're getting to the point where I almost broke the ankle.
Yeah, because you hiked into the canyon like two
All the way
weeks
down,
before
all the
you
way back.
well, yeah, like 2 weeks before you broke your ankle.
It was, like, literally the weekend before, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then what happened after that?
And then Chad, of course. We talked about that, our most listened to episode of the year.
Which is pretty fucking
Which
cool,
yeah,
and
where you broke your
we
ankle.
that was, like what date was that?
That was April 6th, 2022. So
So
that was
that was, like, right
right
before
after.
I had the surgery. That was,
Yeah,
like,
that was
3 days
right
after
after
I
you broke your
broke it,
ankle. Yeah.
and we were, like, hoping, like I was under the impression that, like, maybe I wouldn't even have surgery, I think, at that point, or maybe I did find out that they needed to have surgery. But either way, it was, like, the start of a
Yeah.
very fucking
The
complicated
yeah.
situation.
Yeah, for sure. And then we had on Joel from Reload Rub.
That was a good episode, and definitely
Yeah.
shout out Joel of Reload Rub because he sent me
I mean,
so many fucking
oh yeah.
seasonings after that episode. And then I recently repurchased some seasonings
They have the
because
best seasonings.
oh my god. Dude, Magnum is still my favorite. Like I use Magnum
Yeah.
on everything. It's so fucking good.
Oh yeah. All their seasonings are amazing.
Yeah, they're good people. They have a pretty big following and their ingredients are super clean. We learned about like a lot of the back end stuff on how like seasonings are made
Hmm.
and the chemicals that are added. to a lot of the like cheap over the counter bullshit ones that you can buy versus their stuff where they actually use more expensive ingredients to keep it more like GMO free, basically.
Right. Yeah. More organic and stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, that was a great episode. And then we had on our good buddy Aaron with Grind Ops Coffee Company.
That was a good episode, and it like timed out perfect because that was one that he went into his recovery story that took a
Yeah.
year because he actually got shot in the
Yeah,
fucking
and it
kneecap.
helped. Yeah, and it helped you because you were having issues with your recovery.
Yeah, with inflammation issues, phantom burning, where my
Mm.
ankle like would randomly feel like it was on fucking fire. And he was talking about like his knee used to do that shit, and just he's a good dude, and his coffee company is fucking incredible. Like I
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
mind
just
like
got some like 2 days
yeah.
ago.
Amanda's got a bunch, and honestly, once she moves up here and we can consolidate coffee, we'll probably get more of his stuff. We love Invicta too, but
Yeah, I mean, we
Aaron,
love coffee in general. So,
mhm, mhm. If the market wasn't so saturated, I would say that we need to start a coffee company.
and then yeah, and then the next episode after that would have been Jack Carr. You went and hung out with Jack Carr on a podcast.
That shit was wild. Um, I don't think I've ever been nervous on podcasting except for that podcast. You could literally hear it in my voice for the first 5 or 10 minutes. That
Yeah.
was I was a co-host with Jason, Dr. Piccolo,
Mm-hmm.
and I was so fucking nervous. I spent an entire week listening to like all his most recent podcasts because he was promoting for the fact that he was about
Yeah,
ready to
in the
release his
blood.
fifth book. Yeah, exactly, the fifth book, In the Blood. And I was nervous as fuck. Um, it took me a little bit to settle in, but his answers were just perfect. And the fact that I think like Jason led it a little bit was very helpful. And eventually I calmed down. And yeah, that was a lifelong goal to like actually talk to that person because I've read all his books and
Mm-hmm.
I think he's an interesting dude. And
Yeah,
we
and that was
hope one
before
day,
Terminal List came out.
yeah, that was right before Terminal List came out.
Yeah,
So yeah, that was interesting. And what episode was that?
that was well. I mean, for us, it was episode 58.
Yeah, episode 58. And what we basically did is we borrowed that episode from the Protectors podcast, which is the one that Jason Piccolo runs. And
Yeah,
he gave us the audio and video, I think, for that one too.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then we had on Evan, which was our canine handler.
Was Evan the one, Den Mother?
Yeah,
Or,
Den Mother Canine. Yeah,
yeah, Den Mother K9. That was a fucking cool dude. And like, just the work that he does because he was in special forces as, for lack of better words, a vet tech on steroids.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he would deploy with SF and do things to help keep the dogs healthy and or life-saving skills like a combat medic, but
Mm-hmm.
specifically designated for dogs. And oh yeah, that was a good episode. I actually like that one a lot. All our guests are fucking cool,
Oh
but
yeah.
anything that involves dogs, like to me,
Oh,
is
we're
just
all for that.
yeah, we're high level on dogs, and that was a
Coffee
fun
and
episode.
dogs. Coffee,
Coffee and
dogs, and
dog,
whiskey.
yeah, coffee, dogs, whiskey. Happy New Year's Eve. That could be the name of
So
the episode.
okay, let's see. And then next up, we had on the Cookie Monster himself, Mr. Johnny B. Tackfit.
Okay, you want to explain that episode and give the number?
I mean, yeah, it was episode 61. We had on Johnny from Patriot Cookies, our sponsored good friend of ours, has amazing cookies. We talked about how his tactical fitness, because he was going through some issues with his shoulder,
Hmm.
how he makes the cookies, and everything. And it was a good episode.
It was a fun episode. I ended up getting a shit ton of cookies after that, and it was awesome and quite a mistake. There's a lot of cookies. Austin's being yelled at by his wife right now. He needs to tell her we're podcasting.
You just be quiet over there.
No, can she hear me?
No.
Oh, damn it.
How's she gonna hear you when I have headphones on?
Put the headphones on her and tell her she speaks when you talk to her. Isn't that what you're supposed to say?
Okay, I'll make sure to tell her to listen.
Okay, good, good. I'm totally kidding,
Kissing?
kidding,
You're
Can't,
going
kissing. I almost said kissing. Totally kidding for our women listeners. I need pizza, man. This whiskey's got a hold of
You're
me.
killing me,
Holy
Rob.
shit.
Uh,
All right.
yeah, and then
What's next?
after our Cookie Monster, we had on Jamie, which is the tactical dietitian.
No. You got
No,
that
right?
backwards. No, that was the next guest. Jamie,
Oh, right.
I don't know if she goes by an actual name,
I thought she
but
did.
oh,
I thought she
Doc
had.
Mars. Doc
Yeah, Dark
Mars.
Mars. That's what it was. Yeah,
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 Doc Mars, who has Ava, the Malinois, and
yeah.
that's a working dog. And that was a cool episode because it actually started a chain of events that I will say after we get through the next like 2 or 3 episodes that I thought was
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah, no, it was good because next on we had on
Her
the tactical
coworker.
dietitian, Susan, which is her coworker. Yeah, because they
Yeah.
work up in Joint Base Fort Lewis McChord,
Hmm.
for the doing all the dietitian and physical therapy and recovery for all the soldiers up there.
What were those numbers for those episodes?
63 and 64.
Yeah. Both of those were really good just because, you know, Jamie brought a perspective on different things for like mobility training
Yeah,
and fitness, and then um the tactical dietitian, I can't remember her name right now, fucking
Susan.
blanking. Susan brought like the perspective of nutrients, but it wasn't like bullshit nutrients. Like she was okay with like energy drinks. She was okay with like the reality of like people are gonna have cheat meals and stuff. Like
Yeah,
so I definitely like that. And then I'm pretty sure I know who our next guest was.
you have no idea. It's some weird chick from Texas.
I know. It's like I almost
Some weird
wear a
chick with a
ring
dog
for
that looks
her
just
because
like yours.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. Finn's a lot smaller than Allie. So, okay, who was our next guest and what episode
What?
number was that?
It was 65, and I don't know who was it, Rob. You tell me.
I'm guessing it was Amanda.
Yeah, that
Amanda
one chick. That one chick.
from Houston, Texas. The girl that I'm gonna try to marry if
The
she'll let
girl that
me.
you've been sleeping with.
Yep, we've been sleeping with each other for a couple days now.
Not recently, but you
Not recently, not recently. No, I don't have like a stand-in Amanda. Well, she's out of town either, so
know. I
don't.
would hope not.
I would hope not either. That'd be really bad. Um, no, but the reason why like I wanted to bring that up was that was the first time in our podcast history that we had on back to back to back female guests, which I thought
Yeah,
was pretty cool. And it brought like a different perspective because for some reason, like our podcast attracts a lot of
men.
military veteran police officers, like hockey players, and they're all dudes pretty much. Like that's what
Yeah, so
the
we've had
majority
on.
of our
I think we've had on probably only a handful of women.
yeah, I think we've had on like maybe 5 or
I
7
think
at
5 or 6.
most.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was interesting to have 3 weeks of women's perspectives on shit, which let's be honest, are probably better than ours, but
No, they're
we don't
worse.
tell
That's
them.
why we don't have them on.
Oh yeah. No women equality. In 2023,
We're
we have no
joking.
women
We're
on this.
joking.
We're joking. Please
Don't
don't cancel
cancel
us.
us.
Don't cancel us. All right.
Cancel
Who is
Rob.
after Amanda's episode?
It was sub-
That was when
it
she
was
was actually here, though, right?
well, yeah, of course, yeah. What else would it have been?
Okay. Yeah, that was a good episode. All right. Who's
And
next?
then the next episode was Sebastian, our one-armed friend
Oh,
from Texas,
the
the Mexican
Mexican,
Marine.
the Mexican space cowboy.
Yeah,
What episode number was that?
66.
Okay. Yeah, and that was one of the first times we had on a single amputee above the waist.
Yes, correct.
So like
Because
his
we've had
was
multiple amputees with missing legs.
yeah, but never one with like a missing arm. And that was a good episode. He was an interesting person and just he had been through a lot of trauma with his situation
Mm-hmm.
and he's a big time advocate towards helping people with the prosthetic community above the waist, like our like arm amputees, because a lot of amputee R&D goes into leg stuff,
Yeah,
whereas like he
well,
was
because he said that like I said, most people that get above the waist don't survive.
yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot that part. That's it's actually very true.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and
And
then
do you say the
uh,
number of that one?
yeah, 66.
Okay, good. Continue. I'm
Yeah,
not paying
and then
attention.
I know usually you don't. And then we had on Mr. Scotty again for the third time.
Yeah, the most guested person. I was trying to think of a way to say that.
Yeah, Mr. the famous Scotty B.
I know he became like too popular for us,
Oh
and
no, we gotta
then
try to get him on for like a month, and he's like, "No, I'm busy. No, I'm busy."
like he could come on, and then you canceled on him,
Oh no.
and then he could came on again, and then I canceled on you guys.
Yeah, and then yeah, we had a couple issues lining up, but we got him on.
Yeah, and he was actually one of those people that there was a difference between his like mishaps of getting on the podcast were
Mm-hmm.
never personal, they were never vindictive, they were never it wasn't that he didn't want to come on the podcast, whereas we had 3 guests this year that like flat out didn't make the podcast and
Yeah,
kind of like total backhand to us. Like it kind of fucked up our show a little bit this year. And part of the reason why you guys probably didn't get at least 3 or 4 more episodes, to be honest. But
yeah,
continue.
yeah. I mean, Scotty's always good guest having on. And then we had on it was September, so we had on Oath to Country
Oh yeah, right at the
for
start
yeah
of the
for
22
yep
challenge. You want to talk about
for
Justin for a little bit?
yeah. So we had for our 22 challenge that we do every September. We had on Justin from Oath to Country Foundation so we could talk about the challenge, talk about him, what he does, what they do in general, and why we chose that company to support for the 22 challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good time. And then after that, we had on Sarah and Rex
Oh, okay.
from
Another one of
yeah,
our amputee friends
yep,
from Florida
from
who knows
Florida.
Johnny Tack Be Fit, the
Yeah,
cookie
who was
dealer.
she was getting ready to do her first um
Nope, it
Patriot
wasn't her
games.
first. It was her
Are you
second.
sure? I thought
I'm
it was her first.
positive. I'm positive because she was getting a different leg
Leg.
set up
Right.
for the Patriot games because the first time she had done them, she was having issues. I'm
Oh, okay.
pretty sure
Yeah.
it was her second, or maybe she was talking about like the training process.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, no, she was a good time. Like I said, different perspective to have on. Because she was our first female amputee to have on.
Amputee. Yep. Yep. Yeah,
So it was good to have her on and different perspective.
she's good people's. And then the thing that I found interesting about that podcast was we got to learn a little bit on the behind the scenes of what service dogs are through Rescue 22, which is,
Yeah.
like, and the cool thing about that is her dog Rex is like just like a dog when he's at home and, you know, wild, lazy, whatever, just has a lot of his own fun
Yeah.
versus like very stringent all the time because Allie had really good training, but at the same time, like she definitely knows how to fuck off and be a fun, loving dog.
Oh yeah.
And I always wondered what it would have been like if Allie actually went through like the task training that Rescue 22 does because
Mm-hmm.
they spend a lot more time with the service animal that they're training for that exact person. Whereas I felt like my stuff was kind of rushed but completed.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Okay.
yeah, and then one of our most recent ones we had on was Jeremy, um, the what the
Wood carving guy.
yeah the wood I was the wood veteran wood veteran something like that.
Yeah, and I don't know if I should say this, but I'm going to say it out of just like full transparency.
Yes.
Um, Probably one of my favorite guests of the year, just because we went on a pathway of mental health that isn't
Mm-hmm.
talked about as much, even on this podcast where we talk about mental health a lot. I feel like kind of like gloss over a couple things. His stuff
Yeah.
was very detailed, and it went from I thought it was going to be a 40-minute podcast to like a 2-hour podcast.
Yeah, it was 2 hours and 15 minutes. But yeah, no, it was good. We covered everything from if you should take pills, what pills right for you, pills, just because don't be afraid to try something, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Um, and just don't be afraid to be vulnerable and talk about it.
Hmm. And the work that he's doing, he makes incredible woodwork, and basically just he gives it away, which is fucking cool as hell that he actually takes the time to make these incredible structures and gives it away. And the only way that he's surviving is literally off of sponsors, his YouTube channel, his TikTok channel, and that's how he's getting by. I feel like you've had more interruptions, Austin, than I
I
have
mean,
had.
that's okay. It's just the
It's
doggy.
usually the opposite.
It's just the doggy. Because there's
Hmm.
fireworks going on out there.
Okay. Well, we're almost at the end. I think we have our last guest, or like two
Yeah, we
more.
had some weird guy on last episode who you might know. You might work with him occasionally.
Yeah, he actually works for me. Um,
Oh, was that you're gonna
no,
tell him?
no, not at all. Like, I really don't want to get fired. Now we had on
Like,
my
listen here,
boss.
Lowell. You work for me.
We had on my boss Lowell, and that was cool because it just kind of like encapsulated the year because you know this year was definitely filled with ups and downs and just craziness. And one of the biggest decisions I had to make was staying here or going to DC to work for that three-letter agency. And Lowell was a big part of that decision. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, I would say that he dedicated probably the most hours towards my recovery, especially after my dad left.
Oh
Because
yeah, he was a huge. I mean, if it wasn't for
yeah,
Lowell, honestly, like it would have been
it would
ten
have been
times
really
harder for
hard.
you.
It would have been really hard, especially imagine if I broke my ankle and then went to DC. Like it would have been
Yeah.
really bad.
Oh
It probably
yeah.
would have been on
Well,
my
I mean,
own.
he's the one who took you to surgery. He cooked you. I mean, who knows how many meals? I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. And then you went and returned and just went to his house and broke shit. I mean,
Oh yeah, that was a funny night. So Lowell was out of town, and I
we
was
talked about it
me and the
on that
guys were
podcast.
watching his dogs, But yeah, at one point I needed to go over there because there was a power outage and open his windows to get some sort of circulation in the house. And on my way out, I'm hopping because I'm on crutches or a scooter, and it's pitch black. I slam his door earlier that night on the way in. I fell in his driveway, cut my fucking kneecap open. Like, it was a rough night, and I broke a lot of his shit accidentally. And he still like was not only my boss but my friend, and it was fitting to have him on as like the final guest of the year, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Austin's getting yelled at, and he's on
Nope.
mute.
Nope. Just my dog. Um.
Should get
But
into the
yeah, like I
last
said.
part.
But yeah, that was all of it. That was all the episodes. Like I said, we think. You know, I want to say thank you to every single person that we had on, and
To all the listeners too, man.
oh
Like,
yeah, to
it's
all the listeners, all the guests. I mean, we
and
got
people that have shared this podcast, and it's just it's it's one of those things that Austin and I kind of did this as like a little experiment, and it's gone better than we ever anticipated. And it's crazy because I think, last year around this time we were probably heard in like 12 or 14 countries, and now to hear that we're heard in 28 countries, it's fucking wild. Like, it blows our mind. You're not talking to anyone. You're on mute. Austin's literally having the worst podcast ever. There he is.
hey, fuck you.
Why do you suck at podcasting?
You suck at podcasting.
You've been like worse than me on this episode, which is
That
surprising.
hey, you
Oh,
know
it
what?
comes into our next section, so we'll get to talk about who the
Does it?
better host is. So,
No, I'm taking that off there. Actually, we have some trending news if you want to bullshit
yeah,
about.
yeah. Let's hit the trending news, and then we'll wrap up with ATI.
Well, we have two more things actually.
What do we have?
Just just listen. So yeah, no, we have the trending news. There was big news that if uh, I mean you've probably seen it all over the internet. That Andrew Tate got arrested.
Because of pizza.
Yeah, because of Pizza Box.
Pizza box. Because he was accused of human trafficking, which, if it's false, that's super fucked up. Because, like, in my opinion, from everything that I've seen from him, he's literally a troll, like just fucking
Oh
with
yeah.
people to make a lot of money and to get more views and get kicked off of things. But I think he's like an actor. I don't think he believes all the
Well,
things
it's
that he
just
says.
like I was telling you last night. It's just like Liver King. They
Yeah,
put on this
he's a character.
persona. Yeah,
That was the
just to
other
make
person that we
money.
wanted to talk about, by the way.
Liver King. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Continue though on your thoughts on Andrew Tate, and then I'll say my thing.
Yeah, but like I said, yeah, I agree with Rob. Like I said, I think it's all like we'll see what happens. Who knows?
But
Whether it's
if he is involved in human trafficking, he can go fucking get fucked in the ass and
100%.
like stay in jail for the rest of his fucking life, and he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But like, part of me wonders if it's conflated, because a lot of the things that he said were taken out of context, but he
hmm
purposely did those things to get
When
his rise to fame.
he mentioned on a podcast, I'm not sure which one it was, that he knew he was gonna get arrested.
Hmm.
Because he knew he was being watched and like all this. And then he said that the next step is that fucking 3 strikes and you're out. So he knew he was gonna get arrested, and that if he does get arrested, he'll probably be shot because that's the third strike.
Yeah. Okay. So that was one thing that we saw at the end of the year that was kind of big.
Yeah,
What
and
was the
then
other
what were you
thing?
gonna say about Liver King?
Liver King.
Your
That
best
dude,
friend.
man.
Your best
That
friend.
fucking idiot. My favorite episode was of Joe Rogan this year, probably was that episode where they had on the guy that exposed his emails,
Mm-hmm.
and that was big recent trending news that he pretty much got outed for doing steroids. Yet he's been claiming
Yeah,
for
there's
the
all
last
natural.
year or two that he's been
Yeah.
all natural. He got a bunch of people to believe in him and this and that. Honestly, like I feel like that guy's kind of a piece of shit because he made a lot of people believe that if they just ate liver, they could get like fucking that ripped
But then
and
again, he also didn't like hurt anybody. Like, yeah, he told a lie, but what didn't like, you know what I mean? It didn't hurt anybody.
but like in the emails they found, it was literally talking about, well, if I say this or if I do this or if I'm on this much
Mm-hmm.
steroids, I should be able to increase my following by X millions of people and have
Oh
this type of
yeah.
reach. So it was all like this like big con basically. And
Oh yeah. No, 100%. I mean, but I
so
mean, honestly, there's so much to go that going on social media, and like,
yeah.
because that's how they make their money.
Yeah. Don't believe everything that's on social media, kids.
Believe
That's the point.
everything. Everything you see is a hundred
Everything we
percent true.
say is 100% true and real.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Like I love Austin. I care about him so much. It's 100% truth, not a lie whatsoever.
Uh,
All right, and then there
but
was
yeah,
there was a third note, right?
yeah. It sucks for a lot of people because Southwest they canceled over 2,500 flights.
Yeah,
Um,
Amanda's friend was one of those flights
yeah, it
that she was
sucks.
watching their dogs.
Yeah, and so many people like had their flights canceled,
They had to
and
buy different tickets and shit, like
yeah,
the
and
day
then
of.
the price increased like 300% or something. Um, yeah, it was partially due to weather and partially due to people just they were understaffed and people didn't want to work and
Well, here's the thing, man. Amanda and I talked about it right before the holidays.
mm-hmm.
Both her and I, like, we don't fly around the holidays.
No,
Like, I'll fly way
fuck
before or
no.
after the holidays, but I'm like, especially in the modern era of social media where everyone
But
fucking
what's
travels and
funny though
stuff.
is Southwest was the only one that did it. Like other flights didn't.
Interesting.
Like Southwest is the only one that I said Delta canceled I think 10 flights,
That's
whereas
crazy. I
Southwest
thought it was
canceled
I thought it was everyone.
2,500. No, it was just Southwest, like
Southwest.
only Southwest.
That's why you guys don't fly budget airlines. Fly real
Yeah,
airlines.
that's why I only fly Delta. Like I've always only fly Delta.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess the last time I flew Southwest with Allie. Like it was a little bit
Yeah,
annoying.
was that who you
So
flew when? That's who you flew Vegas to Texas, right?
correct. Yep.
Okay, that's what I
Yep.
thought.
So
But yeah, and then the next thing we have is we posted on our Instagram the ask/tell us anything. So I have
mhm.
those pulled up here. So
We should hit them
we had a
all.
couple people, huh?
We gotta hit them all.
Yeah, we had a couple people say, that they absolutely love the podcast, that that we're amazing, people are truly grateful that we do this podcast.
Yeah, are we gonna read the questions first and then we'll hit ATI or like the statements?
We we'll do that afterwards. What are you talking about? I'm going through the ask question tell us anything. Not the
Oh,
polls.
okay.
Not the polls that we did.
Okay. Yeah, do
You know what?
those then.
Okay. Jeez. Yeah, and then someone asked when's the wedding?
Oh, so the answer to that is we are thinking the wedding is going to be out here in the Grand Canyon sometime in October if both of our
I thought you
parents
said
can join
November.
us. No, you don't fucking listen. October is when we're thinking about doing the wedding because my parents might be around. And we're talking about doing the celebration for the wedding in November in Vegas.
Okay.
So that answers that question. What else you got?
Okay. Oh, where'd it go? I lost it. and then we had somebody ask about that they're about to go active duty army, and they had if we could provide them with any tips or tricks or.
So if you're going from like a reservist status, I guess, to active duty, um, the nice thing about active duty, because like I don't really have like an amazing answer for this, but
Yeah, me either.
the way that I would look at it is you just got covered by everything. So like
Mm.
your PCS is covered. Your entire like move, whatever duty station you're gonna go to,
And then
that's
it
gonna be
also depends
covered.
if you're married or not.
Yeah, and if you're married, you're gonna make more money.
Oh
If
yeah,
you have
even better.
dependents,
Mm.
if you have dependents, like this person wrote in, I know that they have a child, and
Oh okay.
um, they're gonna get more money for that. I'm assuming they get some of that in the reservist status, but I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
even
I
more
think
for active
I
duty.
think you still get like TRICARE and everything. I think
But
right.
but the TRICARE is different for active duty. Active duty. Oh my god, active duty versus like reservist or National Guard. So like your benefits are gonna go up, and one of the things that I valued about like being active duty military, and I think it's kind of hard for both of us because we were never reservist or
Hmm.
National Guard, is the bonds that you make when you actually have to be around someone
Oh yeah.
24/7, 365 for an
But that's
exact
just.
amount of
I
time
mean,
they
but
contracted. I
that's
think that's better.
yeah. But that's almost like any job, though, right? Like if you see somebody every single day, and you spend time with them, of course you're gonna get closer to them and be bonded with them.
But I think it's a
You
lot
know.
different
Oh
outside of
no,
the
100.
military.
Oh, 100. It's 100% different, especially like when you're deployed,
Mhm.
because your lives are on the line. Like you have to watch their back just like they'll watch your back. Where who knows what the fuck's gonna happen?
I and and the other, I guess, big benefit is you're gonna start accruing time towards retirement
Mm-hmm.
at a way better rate than you will as, like, reservist or National Guard. I kinda wish she would have told us what her status was,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like, we don't know that side of the house that well, so I would say I think it's a positive thing overall, and it'll
Yeah.
probably be a blessing in disguise,
Yeah, I
for
mean, and
lack
I
of
mean,
better word.
there's obviously a reason, they chose to go, from reservist or whatever to active duty, like full time.
I gotta go let Allie out. I'll be back. You
Okay,
you
jeez.
you
Well, hurry
handle
the
the
fuck up. What
next
am I
cat.
supposed to? I'm supposed to talk to myself here.
Keep talking about this and go to the
Well,
next
hurry up.
question.
Hurry up.
Okay, you
Hurry
you
up. Go
hurry up.
faster.
Go.
Hurry up. Run. But yeah, like I was saying, going from reservist to active duty, the best thing I can say is just like there's a reason you did it, and just keep going forward with it and do the best you can. I mean, like I said, there's a reason that you want to pursue this, because you obviously want to either do 20 years, make it a career, or just do the 4 to 6 years or whatever. Because I don't know how long you've been in, so. But yeah, I mean that's the best advice that we can give you. Um, and then the next person that wrote in said, y'all need to have me on for the podcast, just for one simple reason, just because we know who this is, and we actually do plan on bringing them on the podcast in the next somewhat soon future. So I think they'd be a good guest. Besides Rob, fuck that guy. We don't like him. Oh shit, he's back. Damn it.
Mhm. All right, where are we at?
Oh no, the one that wrote that we need to bring him on the podcast.
Oh yeah. We
Yeah, yeah,
might
yeah,
have
yeah,
him as
yeah.
our next guest, so that would be cool.
Yeah, it'll be our next guest or two. We'll see what schedule allows and all that.
Hmm.
So,
Okay,
but
and
yeah,
then what's next?
what's the next one? Who is your favorite guest of 2022?
I think we kind of covered that earlier, but it's hard to say because like the guests actually make this podcast better.
Oh,
The
100%.
the only reason why I actually enjoy this podcast is because we're talking about a lot of our guests from this year. Like the wrap up episode is probably my favorite episode to do because we get to talk about all the guests. But if I had to pick one gun to head, I I really think that obviously like I fucking loved having my fiance on, but if I
She was okay.
no. She did good. She was actually amazing. But
Mm-hmm.
I think the most interesting one for like we go into a podcast and this becomes a little bit mundane. Like we're just
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, like here we go. We're going through the motions. And then every once in a while, like we're like, holy shit, that was actually a really cool episode. Um, I would say it's between um fuck, we had really good guests this year. Either Canine Den Mother.
Mm-hmm.
What was his first name?
Den Mother K9. I have to go look.
Either the episode
Evan.
about like who?
Evan.
Evan. Either Evan or the wood carving guy.
Yeah.
Uh what was his name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy. Thank you. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. I remember who you guys are physically.
Right.
Just because it was different and it was outside of at least my friend group. Like I didn't know these
Yeah.
guys before the episode, so those were probably in my top three. It would be between Amanda. Actually, I'll do a top four. No, top three. Amanda,
Tell
Canine
us the
Den
truth.
Mother,
You just put
Evan.
Amanda in there because she's your fiance.
No, I actually thought her episode was good just because of the fact that she didn't necessarily want to come on because she's like, you have a lot of military people on and this and
Mm-hmm.
that. And Amanda is like insanely successful. To be
Mm-hmm.
honest, like Amanda doesn't fucking need me. And she could
That's
probably
most
do
people.
better than me. No, but I'm serious. Like a lot of girls I've dated before are very dependent on my
Mm-hmm.
success, whereas like Amanda is my equal as a human, but she's wildly more successful than me and accepts me for where I'm at. So like
Yeah.
it's cool. But and then Jeremy was incredible. How about you? If you had to pick one or three?
Yeah, no, I said Jeremy was really good. I really liked him on. I liked having Sarah on because it was just a different perspective from being an amputee as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've had on we had on multiple males that lost, but it's
Amputees.
different. Yeah, but it's different when when it's a woman. Because it's So and then I don't know. I mean, it's hard. I really liked when we had Joel on with Reload. Because he's always a good
That was a
guy.
good episode.
So like I said, we've had a lot of good people on, so it's hard to narrow down just like one.
I mean, honestly, like all jokes aside, they're the people that make this podcast
Oh,
fucking cool.
100%.
So every single one that we had on was important to us. But like I said, gun to head, have to pick someone. Those are like kind of
I'm
where our
gonna pick
thoughts were.
Rob.
I mean, like that makes sense though. No, honestly, like, oh yeah, like we're we're just a pathway to help, like, try to get other people's stories out, and it's cool that people actually want to either confide in us or with our listeners. So yeah.
Okay. And then we have one more that's kind of it kind of goes with ATI. So we'll just jump into that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the last one that was from our good friend Brewer is Fuck Mary Kill. Got Kamala Harris, Amber Heard, and
Kamala
Elon Musk.
Harris.
Yep. Who
Kamala
you
Harris
picking?
and who else?
Amber Heard and Elon Musk. Who you
I
picking?
thought about this the other night and I was like, how am I gonna answer this?
I already got my answer.
Um, I already know that I'm gonna marry Elon because
Of
I feel
course.
like like that's gonna be the most prosperous. I'm gonna fuck Amber Heard because
Yep.
like Amanda doesn't exist in this parallel universe where I'm married to. Because like
Elon Musk.
yeah, because Amber Heard like low key was very attractive until she opened her mouth in a public
Right. Yeah.
stage. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah, definitely fuck. And then I don't know if we'll get canceled for saying this because she's technically the vice president, but
Yeah. Okay.
KIA, yeah, KIA is gonna go towards Kamala. That's how I'm gonna
Yeah.
do it.
No.
How about you?
100%. I was thinking the same exact thing.
Yeah, yeah,
100%.
because
That's the
you
only
can't marry
logical
those other
reason.
two, and like just because Elon and I get married, like we don't have to have sex. If he wants to have sex, like I would
He wants
have
to. Nah.
sex, but like I'm down because
If he
I
gives
would
me a Tesla, I'm down.
pretty sure he'll give me more than Tesla. Give me better
Okay.
Starlink access.
Right. Okay. And then so we put up on all of our Instagrams we put up a poll,
Hmm.
well, multiple polls of would you rather's to kind of get
Yeah,
what
and I
people
brought my
thought.
phone just to like compare them or whatever because
Oh,
I figured you
I put
have the
the answers.
stats.
Yeah, that most people. Well, it was I just put what most people voted for because we also put this on like 3 accounts, so we're gonna have different
Hmm.
numbers for each account.
Okay, yeah, no, that's actually a better way to do it, but I might hit you with some of the numbers I got on my account.
Okay.
So read
But
them.
yeah, so would you rather go snowboarding in the backcountry or go swimming with sharks in the ocean?
You know, when you set up that question, I was like, this is fucking obvious. You should have added like avalanche, like worry about avalanches
I would. My 100% answer is going swimming with sharks in the ocean. hundred
for
percent.
real.
100%.
I mean, I picked differently, and 74% of my followers
Yeah,
versus
voted. Oh
26.
yeah,
Yeah,
they voted
so
going snowboarding.
okay. So I guess we split differently there, but I would have definitely done snowboarding because I've done backcountry snowboarding. I'm not
Well,
scared of
yeah.
it. All right, next.
Okay. Would you rather be quilled by a porcupine in the face or sit on a cactus naked?
What did you got?
I'm not. See, this is hard for me because it's gonna suck if you get porcupine in the face because all those quills are not gonna be
Mm-hmm.
fun to pull out. So, but then again, the cactus needles in your junk is not fun either.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I think I'm gonna go cactus naked. I don't know. That's a hard one, but I think I'm gonna go cactus naked. I think that's what a
That's
majority of
exactly what I
people.
picked.
Yeah,
And it looks
that's what
like
a
that
majority
was
of
the
people put.
winner. And on my social media, it was 39% was going to get hit with a porcupine, and then 61% was going to take the
Yeah,
cactus. All
yeah,
right,
because
what's
getting
next?
getting porcupined in the face would suck.
Okay. I'll read the next one since you've read them
Okay,
all. Would you rather lose your sense of taste or lose your sense of touch? Most people voted taste. What did you vote?
I voted touch because I like food too much.
That's exactly what I thought too. I started thinking of like, what if your dick doesn't work? But I was thinking
Well,
like
that'd
maybe
be
it's
the
just
whole.
like
Well,
touch.
that you just wouldn't be able to feel it. No, as in touch means no any feeling.
So like your dick doesn't work.
Yeah, you don't feel anything.
I'm not gonna lie, like I love food so much that I don't think I could handle not tasting anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the majority of people actually picked it that way too. Like
Yeah, they
it
pick
was
taste.
yeah, they picked on mine at least it was 55 versus 45.
Yeah.
All right, next one was would you rather be able to see ghosts or be able to talk to them?
I want to
Most
do
people
both.
you want I mean obviously, but if you had to choose one, would you pick?
I'd probably just be able to talk to them.
That's exactly what I picked, and that's like a resounding amount of
Yeah.
people picked that. 90% versus 10% said that they would rather talk to them because it would be creepy as fuck if you could see them, but you couldn't communicate with them. I'd rather not see them and actually be able to talk to them.
Yeah.
All right, you want to hit this next one?
Yeah. Would you rather not be able to shower for a whole year or have lice in your hair for 6 months?
I'm gonna go with lice in the hair because someone actually gave me an idea. I would shave my head.
that could work. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean that could
because I need to
that
take a shower. A year without a shower is fucked.
that is a good idea. But yeah, I was gonna go with shower, but after you said shave your head, that is a good idea though, because if you have no hair,
Yeah,
then
someone DM me today and they're like, I would just shave my head. That way I can take showers
yeah,
and
that's good.
wash them off. And I was like, holy
Yeah,
shit, that's actually really smart.
yeah, that's
So,
smart. I didn't think about that.
but
So
it was the opposite. Like most people said that they would go a year
yeah, that's what I would do if I had
without
like
showering.
if I couldn't shave my head. Like that's what I would do.
Yeah. And then the last but most important question.
This was rigged.
This was not rigged because you actually tried to cheat.
So did you?
I only cheated to cancel your shit out. I will send you screenshots. So, like, the next poll question was who's the better podcast host, Rob or Austin? And immediately I started off at fucking like 100% Austin. So I go and look at him. And it's because he took multiple accounts and went and
No, I
voted
didn't
for
do anything.
himself.
I'm innocent.
He even used the Fight Like Hell podcast, which we both host. And I'm pretty sure he used Save Our Six at one point to vote on one of them. So, like, this motherfucker does that. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I have 3 other accounts. So I went and canceled you out on a couple of them. And then right now on my page, I have 81% versus 19.
Yeah.
And there's, let's see, these are actually real people.
Yeah.
So everyone likes
and
me better as a podcast host,
I
is
mean
what
that's
they
okay.
said.
I'm okay with that.
Honestly, like, I just don't shut up. So that's the only reason why. No,
But yeah,
it's no, you say what you said to me earlier that you almost did on your poll. And it would have been
yeah, no,
resounding.
yeah, no. I was gonna put Rob, Austin, or Allie, and then Allie would have won like 100%.
Oh yeah, easily. Yeah, so here's the other thing. I got to share these results after we end this podcast cuz I want people to see them or they can tune into the podcast and they can find out.
I mean that's probably the better way.
Okay, that's true. But I am going to share better podcast hosts cuz it was me.
Yeah, it's me.
In your head is
It's whoever has the lowest amount of votes. It's like golf.
oh, okay. Then I definitely lost. No, I'm
No,
kidding.
but no, I mean, all seriously though, man. Like, I thank you for being my podcast, co-host with me. I thank you, for being, not only my podcast host but my best friend. Fucking, we've been doing this for a year, and I thank you for always being fucking next to me, bullshitting and hanging out.
Yeah, and Buck was one of the people that voted me versus you, and he publicly did it so you could see it as
Oh yeah,
well.
I
Like he did it on all accounts.
know. Yeah.
And he told me that he did it to piss you off, and then we had a couple people DM us saying that they would not vote. And
Yeah.
you know what's really cool actually? Amanda actually didn't vote, and I thought that was pretty cool because I figured I would guarantee to get hers, but she didn't.
She voted for me. No.
She did? I was like, wait, what
No,
the fuck? No, she didn't vote on any of them from what I saw.
no,
But
she didn't vote on any of them. I don't think she cared.
yeah. No, but all jokes aside, our guests are what makes this podcast cool. And then, Amanda and I were talking last night, and I said one of the reasons why I think Austin and I are best friends is we agree on a lot of things, and things that we don't agree about, we have discussions about versus the way I see it is correct or
Okay.
versus the way
Is it
you
time
see
for
it is
is it
correct.
time for me to go hard right now? We're gonna go hard right.
Yeah. Hard right, and I'll go hard left.
Okay.
No,
Okay. We'll
it's
yell
just
at each other.
yeah. No, it's good to have you as a best friend, someone that I can talk to about anything and everything. A really good podcast host, someone who helped me successfully fail my business.
Oh.
I'm totally
Mm,
kidding.
I
I
mean,
think
you did
you've
that
helped
on your
my.
own.
No, it was 100% you. But
It
no,
was 100% Allie.
no. Allie's the better podcast host of all of us.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Speaking of which, she just finished her bully stick. I think we
Oh
wrap this
shit.
fucker up.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're done with it. We're at an hour and a half,
hmm Good
and
episode.
and then you
Thank
can go
you.
drink. You can drink more whiskey and go hang out with Amanda.
Yeah. No, on dead serious note, thank you for listening to this podcast. We really appreciate you guys. Please rate us, like us, share us. Do us
Slide
one
into Rob's
favor.
DMs. You know, whatever you need to do.
No, no one needs to slide in my DMs. I'm good. Um, share us. And we look forward to 2023 with you guys.
Yeah.
Got anything else?
No, that's it, man.
All right. Peace.